This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
Why did the United States Army, which had said never again to counterinsurgency, COIN, after Vietnam, embrace it as a solution to recent wars? In the aftermath of Vietnam, senior Army officers promised never again to quietly acquiesce in half-hearted warfare for half-baked reasons. After Vietnam, COIN was a mistake to be avoided. Analysts of organizational behavior and military affairs have used theories of bureaucracy and military culture to explain why the U.S. Army rejected COIN in Vietnam. Some argued, from a bureaucratic perspective, that COIN did not provide the increased resources, organizational autonomy, and predictability that bureaucracies crave. Others contended that COIN contradicted the conventional warfare mindset at the heart of U.S. Army culture. As one Army officer in Vietnam stated flatly, "I'll be damned if I permit the United States Army, its institution, its doctrine, and its traditions to be destroyed just to win this lousy war." In short, in Vietnam, despite the unconventional circumstances, the U.S. Army fought the war it wanted to fight. However, others maintain this did not have to be. Forceful civilian leadership could have compelled the Army to change. Indeed, 50 years later, advocates of such civilian intervention argue that during the recent war in Iraq, civilian leaders did just that. The Bush administration forced the U.S. Army in Iraq to adopt a COIN doctrine and strategy, despite its bureaucratic and cultural proclivities. This is one solution to the initial puzzle. The U.S. Army changed because civilians forced it to change. However, as neat as this explanation appears, it does not square with the evidence presented in these pages. In actuality, senior Army leaders at home and in Iraq began developing COIN doctrine long before civilian leaders became enamored with the idea. In fact, when the Army began developing COIN doctrine for Iraq, civilian leaders were opposed to using a COIN strategy there. Therefore, the presence or absence of civilian intervention does not solve the puzzle. If anything, this evidence reinforces the puzzle, because the Army adopted a doctrine contrary to its supposed bureaucratic interests and cultural traditions. Another popular explanation, military mavericks within the Army driving innovation, also proves problematic. Upon closer examination, the Army officers who advocated COIN in Iraq were far from maverick outsiders. They had stellar Army careers. Officers like General David Petraeus were more products of the institution than popular accounts suggest. Moreover, these accounts neglect other senior Army leaders who began the push for COIN prior to Petraeus's highly publicized efforts. Even more strikingly, the Army's focus on COIN did not wane after the surge in Iraq. The Army codified COIN as a central mission in the 2008 edition of its most important warfighting doctrine, Operations. Later, President Obama and his closest advisors worried that U.S. military leaders were conspiring to box in the president and force him to adopt a COIN strategy for Afghanistan as well. According to extant theoretical approaches, the Army should use doctrine to justify its bureaucratic desires and express and instill its cultural identity. Making COIN a central part of Army doctrine and operations serves neither goal. This is why these theorists contend COIN has not been central to doctrine in the past. The Army's about-face on COIN is astonishing. It confounds available theories and popular views of military organizations as incapable of change. Even when one looks into the details of the case, the puzzle not only remains, but extends beyond the confines of Iraq. So the question remains, why did the same U.S. Army that had said never again to COIN after Vietnam adamantly recommend it as a solution to recent conflicts, and even infuse COIN into its main warfighting doctrine?